This is Chris from Houston, and you're listening to Drunkard United. Come on, you Irons!
Chris, don't jump off the bridge, man. Stay with us. Be strong. It'll be okay. But, Sammy, good news. The cough is going away.
Good. Finally.
Bad news. The voice is going away. But you know what? I had a little conversation today with Big Dunc. He told me what to fucking do. I'm putting on a blue armband, and I'm getting fucking stuck in. Let's start the show! Hello and welcome to the Drunkard United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me is the, I guess, slightly relieved Samuel Graham?
Yeah.
I mean, 10 minutes of excitement, right?
Yeah, we had, it was a tale of 60 and 30. 60 shite minutes and 30 good ones.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So, very good. Well, we got a lot to fucking cover today, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, we do. So, we're recording at Studio H just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. As always, please subscribe, rate where you can, and review where you can. And, of course, the thing everybody can do is make sure you share with your friends. You know, we see Taylor doing it all the time on Facebook. We see Chef Bentley doing it on Twitter all the time. So everybody just keep sharing. That's big for us. And trust me, little by little, it helps the show. Our numbers are growing steadily, and it's you guys doing what you do. Now, should you want to chat with us, there's many ways that you can. Sammy, why don't you tell the good people how they can get in touch?
Sure. On Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, we are at DU Football Show, and then dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Excellent. Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we're going to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every show. Sam, we're going to revisit a whiskey that we had from season one of our very early episodes, but it's a damn fine whiskey and it's worth revisiting. What are we drinking tonight?
All right, so we've got the Journeyman Distillery's Buggy Whip Wheat. Comes in at 90 proof. It is organic from Three Oaks, Michigan. It's just across the one of the Great Lakes from old Chicago there.
Yeah, basically draw a line. It's on the other side in Michigan.
Yep. All locally sourced raw product to make this whiskey. It's also kosher if you need something for the high holidays there. It's a wheat whiskey that received a 94 in Jim Murray's Whiskey Bible 2 years ago, and you can find it for $44.99 to $49.99 on the shelf.
Yeah, these guys, they make just about everything. It's an old, the reason why I like that this is called Buggy Whip Wheat, it's an old corset and whip factory from pre-Prohibition. The owner of the establishment actually happened to be a staunch prohibitionist. So kind of funny that there's now a distillery there.
Yeah.
But it's distillery, restaurant, and it's all self-sufficient, and they do weddings there and stuff. I went there a couple of years ago, and it's a great place. But this wheat whiskey, wheat isn't, wheat's the blending grain. You know, it normally goes into the wheaters when we talk about,
Wheated bourbons.
Right, a la Maker's Mark.
Yep.
Right, that would be a wheater. Or even the Van Winkle collection. Those are all wheaters as well.
Right.
But wheat, it's just not one that normally gets made on its own. When it does, it tends to be very, very light. This is not light. This whiskey lets you know you're drinking whiskey, but it still has the subtleness that a wheat should have, and that nice, soft sweetness to it. And it's just really, really lovely. Behind the curtain, this is one of my 10 all-time favorite whiskeys, so I just really wanted to revisit it again. And it's one that I can say to anybody, you see it on the shelf, go fucking buy a bottle because you will not be disappointed in it.
Yeah, it's a damn fine whiskey. Really is.
All right, kids, let's do this.
Are we going to go over the
Oh, that's right.
live show?
Jesus, we're a week away.
Less
I know.
than 6 days from today.
I know. This Sunday, Sammy, at Monument Brewing, Drunkard United.
Doing a live show.
Live and drunk. Up close and drunk.
Up close and drunk.
Up close and drunk.
Up close and drunk, yes.
It's good if you know the title of your own show.
Which we will be.
Yes.
More than likely, yeah.
Quite. Thank you. Went up and saw Simeon the other day and did the final walkthrough. We've got everything.
It is a wonderful space.
Isn't it?
It smells so good.
It's awesome.
And do you know what's right next door?
Urban Axes.
Yup.
Yeah.
Axe throwing.
Yep.
Yes, my wife's going to get drunk and throw axes.
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
And I'm going to leave the area and go find myself an alibi because if something happens to her, I do not wish to be blamed for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, so 15th we'll be there from 8:45 until about 3. Watching we'll have Spurs and Wolverhampton, I think it is.
Spurs and Wolves.
On one TV, no sound. The other TV will be Everton Man United. That game starts at 9, so make sure you're there on time. And we'll be watching the game with everybody. We'll record a little bit before, a little bit at halftime, a little bit after. We'll play some games with people. You might find yourself on mic, which could be pretty cool. Ask us some questions, we'll joke around, be walking around having banter with everybody, of course. There'll be some giveaways. There might be some T-shirts for sale. So it'll be a fun time. Monument will have beers to buy, of course, so we can watch the game and drink.
Yep.
And you can see us do what we do best, even though we still only do that mediocre.
And if you let Alan have a mic, he won't give it back.
Well, that's probably true too. Yeah, he is a bully like that.
Yeah, he'll just take it.
He's a subtle bully, Alan.
So we're gonna do
There's nothing subtle.
Pictionary, where you have to draw and Sam and I have to figure out what you're doing.
Yeah.
We're also going to do Name That Tune entrance edition.
Entrance music, yeah.
And it's not going to be something simple like You'll Never Walk Alone. We're going to actually do some kind of tougher ones. So learn up on your entrance music. And it should be a lot of fun, man. I'm really looking forward to it. We've pretty good response from people coming out, and I'm just excited to meet people and try doing a live show for once.
Yeah, should be
Graham,
great fun.
He's got an outfit all picked out.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'll probably be in something very similar to this.
He's got it laid out and pressed, and he's so proud of himself.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
Well, one of us needs to have style.
One time when I was really young, I had a basketball game. It was on a midweek. It was a makeup because for some reason the gym was locked on the weekend. And I got home from school. Game wasn't until 7 o'clock at night, 7:30 at night. I got home from school right at 2 in those days when we got out. I got dressed for my game at 2 o'clock.
And just sat there.
Everyone made fun of me. My entire family. Yeah, I just sat there ready to go. I had my wristbands on and headband on already at 2:15.
Come on, admit it. You love the fact that I went out and bought a blue armband today,
good.
right?
He didn't tell me about it. He said just be ready to record him while he's at the beginning.
That's pretty good.
We'll have to take one more photo in front of the screen with me.
Hey, so real quick, also, in the build-up to our live show, I did promise Monument I was going to drink one of their beers on every show.
Absolutely. What beer are you drinking
So
today?
I've got one. I've got Monument City's Waterways, which is one of their seasonals. It is a West Coast style double IPA with notes of pine and citrus. Excuse me. Comes in at 8.5% ABV. So,
Nice.
Great little beer. And they have 9 or 10 on draft at the brewery for Sunday. So we should be all boozed up. They don't have food though.
Right.
So bring yourself a snack, or it's your own responsibility to get yourself
pizza
home.
places that will deliver there.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
We got, and Postmates goes there. We
Yep.
got the food list. They'll have menus there available.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, but just as always, as I like to say, and this time on time, and especially on Sunday, because we will not be responsible for your asses, please drink responsibly.
Oh, my God. How about that?
It was organic too,
You like
so
that?
natural.
I
Well
know.
done, sir. Well
Thanks.
done.
All right.
Thanks,
so
guys.
so typically we would, you open with, kind of the bigger games, but no. What we're going to open with, all three of us lost in the midweek. That's what we're going to go ahead and open with. Some of us
Hi.
have a second shot to do.
Okay, I'm going to protest this one because I don't want to I'm doing 2 shots for the Leicester game because we played well against Chelsea. I mean, come on, it's frickin' Chelsea.
All right. So what I'm going to protest is the use of your mouth talking right now. So I'm going to need you to produce a mute button. Go ahead and press that down, please. Thank you.
Which one? I can always forget which button to press.
Walking all over my fucking intro. Brighton 2, Arsenal 1, Chelsea 2, Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 5, Everton 2. Let's go ahead and start
That
off.
doesn't sound like a real score.
Let's you know what? Less about Everton, more about Liverpool. Liverpool's been looking for in need of a convincing win. They got the convincing win.
Oh yeah, they made a big statement.
Big statement with backups against your crosstown rival. Boom.
Yeah, I mean,
Boom. That's
had,
huge. That's fucking huge for Liverpool.
Was it Origi, Lallana, and Shaqiri all started?
Yeah.
And no Mo Salah.
Origi
either.
2 goals and Shaqiri 1. I
Yep.
mean,
It's like Origi's only good against Everton and in the Champions League.
that is
And that's
exactly it. That is all Origi is good at.
It's really strange. But yeah, 2 goals from him. Both of them pretty well taken as well. But Mane, I thought, was probably their most dangerous player. I mean, he was consistently ripping you guys apart.
Oh,
and
and
could have had a hat trick himself.
The passes that he was like the one he laid off to Shaqiri and the one he laid off to Origi on the first goal.
Were great.
They were just sick.
And then his finish was excellent.
And I mean, if you want to point something out at Everton, really point a finger and kind of yell and scream. That was, now granted, it's Liverpool are professionals who did it very well, but that was some grade school shit out there. It was literally balls over the top, and you have a Colombian international, an English international, and a former English under-21 national that all started and have played in international matches that cannot figure out a ball over the top.
Yeah.
They're all a foot taller than Sadio Mane, and they can't figure out a ball over the fucking top.
Yeah.
Michael Keane was literally responsible for the first four goals. He scored 1. He was responsible for the 3 that were scored.
Right.
Just insane.
I'll give you that. Jordan Pickford, I think, for Mane's goal could have done a little bit better.
Pickford for Origi's goal could have done a little bit, but the first one, he came out.
It just called himself in no man's land, yeah.
Say it a million times, as a keeper, if you come out, the only reason why you're coming out is because you're going to end up with the ball.
Right.
If you don't think you're going to end up with the ball, stay on the fucking line.
Yeah.
You're better suited to try to be a shot stopper.
Yeah.
That's something De Gea does very well. He'll forego coming out, and he'll make a stop on the line. Now he gets beat at times too, but he knows what his weakness is, so he doesn't fucking play into it.
Absolutely. I've got one question for you, and you know how I feel about this. I don't condone cheating. I don't condone shithousery all the time.
Why are you winking?
But if you're losing 4-1 at halftime or 4-2 at halftime, why? And then give up another goal in the second half. Why was there only 2 yellow cards?
Yeah.
Where was the fight? Where was just the pride? It's a derby at that. You need to get stuck in, galvanize the team. Somebody's got to hit somebody and try to slow that up.
Because their coach didn't empower them to do so. They didn't want to do it for that coach, and subsequently that coach got fired the next day.
You got to do it for yourself. It's a derby.
At some point,
And you flattered to get back into it. You flirted with the idea of getting back into the game twice, and then it just never came to fruition. But why throw the studs on somebody and turn around and say, get your fucking head out of your ass?
I would say that they were just too deflated by that point. And also, I think some of that they left on the field the prior weekend against Leicester, because that was the game that they really went all out and then lost it right at the end. I think the minute that quick goal came, I mean, what was it, 6 minutes in when Origi scored?
Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah.
I think that just a little pin pop in the balloon, and the air just started coming out slowly.
Right.
There was just nothing left. The little bit of fight, at least. There was a couple of goals. Nice to see Richarlison get yet another header. Seems to be enjoying.
It's a new thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's Hulk smash headers from
Richarlison. Yeah. I think, was this one the one that kind of hit his shoulder?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Still came off him with some pace.
Ultimately, good on Liverpool. You needed a convincing win. You got the convincing win. It came at exactly the right time. Everton, it's post-mortem now. We've moved on. Now what are we going to be after that? That's what it really comes down to.
Right.
You guys, the fuck?
Poor. Just poor. We were pitiful. We were outpossessed by Brighton at home.
I mean, I get it. Graham Potter's teaching a more expansive offensive team, but you're fucking Arsenal.
Yeah. That's we almost got doubled up on shots. I think they were up 7-4 on shots. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't really have words for that, and you'd think there'd be a new manager bounce, but there wasn't.
No, still.
No, there was a draw and a loss up until the weekend, which obviously we'll come on to in the second half of the show. But something's got to change. These players that don't seem to give a shit something has to change, and it needs to be soon. Apparently, Aubameyang has stopped contract talks and negotiations on extending his deal.
Why should he extend his deal?
Well, exactly. I don't blame him one bit, to be honest with you. But
Guy wants to play Champions League ball. He deserves to.
yes, Emery's tactics were garbage, and I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the players have to look at themselves in the mirror and figure out what it means to wear that shirt and what it means to them. And if it doesn't mean that much, then fuck off somewhere else.
Yeah.
Put in a transfer request to get the fuck out, because watching them just not give a shit is killing me. It sucks.
Yeah. Now to Brighton, you put in a good shift, man. You went to a very hard stadium and you looked good, and you ran a storied club off the field.
Oh, that also capped off our worst run since 1977. 42 fucking years.
Yeah.
It was our worst run.
Yeah.
We were winless in 9 after that game.
I agree with Melissa looking at the Chelsea Villa match. You know what?
I'm sorry, what?
You should mark
What,
that on the
what?
calendar.
What? I'm writing it down. All right, 15. All right. I'm sorry, go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I think you just found the title of this week's show, too.
Yeah, exactly.
For once, I agree with Melissa.
That might be the Easter egg at the end.
So you went to the bridge and you lost 2-1. You played your ass off.
Oh, yeah.
You were down 1-0. You tied it. You lost.
It was a noble game.
It's a game.
It was a noble effort.
It's a game you're going to probably lose.
They deserve orange slices and juice boxes after that one.
Oh, stop that.
I don't know what Trezeguet's goal was, though.
I don't know
He headed it onto his own foot, and it fell in the back of the net somehow.
You know, we've all had those oopsie moments.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, no, I mean, the way Chelsea's playing at the moment, I mean, the West Ham result seems to be just a blip at this stage. Obviously, we'll come on
All
to what
Not
happened
this
later.
weekend.
And let's face
But-
it, Trezeguet will be the least embarrassing Villa player of the week.
Very, very.
Yeah,
very
we'll
true.
get on to the other game later.
Very
I've got
true.
thoughts.
So it was always going to be tough. Chelsea pretty much dominated the game in terms of possession and everything else. But Villa, I worry about their defense, man. As good as Tyrone Mings is, I would worry about the rest of that defense leaking goals like fucking crazy.
Especially as we get on to this weekend.
And they've got a -6 goal differential following this weekend.
Yeah.
And they're only a point, maybe 2 points above the relegation zone.
Yeah.
So they get sucked into that fight.
We
It's
also
going to
got-
be a dogfight to get out.
We got really lucky with where all the other games landed, too, though.
Well, yeah, but the other piece of that is they're starting to struggle to score goals. You're finding other people pop up with stuff, right? Hourihane here or there,
Yeah.
Grealish here or there. Trezeguet now has scored a few. Where's Wesley?
You know what
I'm
we'll
saying?
get to that
Yeah.
later.
They need a center forward that's going to consistently score goals, and they need to tighten up at the back.
Considering last year they had Tammy Abraham when they
Right.
were in the championship.
Exactly.
And Abraham was a 20-goal scorer for him.
Yep, exactly. So
Lot-
I would worry about them getting sucked in this relegation fight pretty quickly.
All right, kids. Well, then
So we
let's
all got
finish
our-
this segment with a shot of Malort.
There we go.
One more for you, Sammy.
Why am I
All
getting
right.
toasted like...
I don't know. I think you had to
I'm in
pass.
like I'm in a
No.
loop.
You had to pass one
Through
along.
the magic of radio, I was going to clink glasses with you. You were going to clink glasses with him. I was going to clink glasses with you to give the illusion that Sam and I just toasted.
Oh, I
but then
ruined
you
it.
added an extra one because,
I pulled back the curtain.
a mute button. Let's do this.
Oh, none to the house there, Melissa?
Nope.
The rest of the top 4 get wins, and we also had ourselves a Jose derby. Leicester City 2, Watford 0, Man City 4, Burnley 1, Manchester United 2, Tottenham 1. Watford made it tough, but ultimately Leicester got the win.
It was fairly straightforward.
Vardy
I
fucking
thought.
scored again.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a physical match, but at the end of the day, there'll be more to talk about these two clubs later. So let's just, leave it at that, just for the sake of the fact that we got to talk about 20 games.
I do want one quick thing about Watford.
Sure.
One very quick thing about Watford. I just have to make sure I have this stat absolutely correct, but I'm 99% sure that I do. Watford have had more managers than they have wins this season.
Yes.
That's an outstanding statistic.
Yeah. They've only had one win. So technically they had more managers
But
last
still,
week
it
before they
sounds so
fired Quique
dramatic.
Sanchez-Flores. But now they've had triple the amount of managers as they have wins on the year.
Yeah, the way you phrased it makes it sound so dramatic. I love
it's
it.
so bad.
So City puts the boots to Burnley. That's a couple of years in a row now at Turf Moor that City has put the boots to Burnley.
Well, we always think of Turf Moor being such a fortress. Looking back at their record against the top six at home, actually isn't that good. And they've actually shipped a fair amount of goals when the likes of Liverpool show up, when Arsenal shows up, when Chelsea goes there, Tottenham, or another team, obviously, this past weekend. But, yeah, something's just going awry at Burnley at the moment. I don't know what it is. Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes look like shit, making schoolboy mistakes and just, frankly, low-light real gaffes.
So the Palace game minused out. They got a couple of 3-0s just before that. So it seems like Burnley's beating the teams they need to beat and losing to the teams they're supposed to lose to.
Absolutely.
I mean, I feel like this is a perfectly, 10th, 11th place team through and through.
Right. I'm with you. They, I also think the 1-0 halftime score was kind of flattering to Burnley as well. I think City really just dominated this match.
Yeah, which is exactly what we
From
expected
start
City
to finish.
to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Now let's get to the Jose derby. Tottenham losing.
What a great game, though.
It was a great game to watch, wasn't
And
it?
a derby, especially with everything surrounding Jose Mourinho, you would expect a little bit of like park the bus mentality. We're going to make it difficult for them just so I can get one over on them.
Yeah,
Personally, it was end-to-end stuff.
yeah.
Everybody had chances. I think Gazzaniga will be mostly blamed.
Oh, he should have had that. He should have. Yeah.
Now, Rashford did well. He made it skip just before the goalkeeper, which is what you're taught to do. Have it skip off the ground right in front of him, which makes it a little bit more difficult, but it should have been pretty routine.
Still the near post.
In my opinion. Yeah, it should have been pretty routine.
Near post shouldn't be a goal.
Right.
Near
And
post should be a save 100% of the time. If it isn't, it is the keeper's fault and a discussion.
Obviously, Rashford got the second from the penalty spot. Rashford was on fire.
Yeah.
2 goals, obviously, hit the crossbar, forced Gazzaniga into 2 other saves. He was on fire. He looks like he's growing into that role.
I have it to mention in the next round of games when we talk about this, the Manchester derby. It's Rashford has embraced the new role.
Absolutely.
He's out and out the number 9. He wants to run this team. He wants to be the goal scorer. He wants the pressure on him, and as long as he has the cast around him, it's imperative.
Well, that's the thing. We saw him drop off when Martial was out injured. Because I don't think he's an out-and-out center forward. I think he does really well running off of a point man. And Martial has kind of been more of a point man this season, and he's also embraced that role, getting a goal this weekend as well, as we'll come on to. But when they're together, that's some vintage United counterattacking this past week.
So speaking of the right people being in place, Jose made a joke about McTominay and in the post conference, right? You know how important McTominay was, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, McTominay's fucking important.
No, I don't know that it was a joke. Remember, Jose Mourinho gave Scott McTominay Player of the Season, and he started 4 games for United that year and made like 3 other substitute appearances and gave him the Player of the Season.
We saw when it was Fred and Pereira, and then we saw what happened when it was McTominay and Fred. Fred can't do it himself. He needs to be the support piece. And McTominay has worked for him. Like it just
clicks.
McTominay makes a huge fucking difference in that lineup. It's an odd thing to say. It's weird to look at, but it's the absolute truth. He makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I wonder, is he English?
Scottish.
He's Scottish. Okay. All right. Well, then that mutes what I was going to say.
Okay.
So fuck it. Move on.
All right. Well, then we will. Rounding out the rest of the midweek in So That Happened. Palace 1, Bournemouth 0, Wolves 2, West Ham 0, Southampton 2, Norwich 1, Newcastle 2, Sheffield 0. By the way, Sammy, you always say Palace aren't winning at home. Palace have been winning at home this season.
Yeah, I know, and this fucked my midweek bet.
Yeah, don't worry, my midweek bet flopped too. So.
Yeah, I had Bournemouth winning this one. And really, there's not a lot to talk about in this game, to be honest with you. It's really bad from Bournemouth because Palace went down to 10 men after 19 minutes. Despite winning the ball, Sacco got sent off straight red for a very high challenge, catching studs up. I can't remember who he hit now, but he got someone on the knee.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It was flew into a tackle following a bad touch on a throw-in. Flew into a tackle, got the ball away, cleared the ball, but his studs coming through on the follow-through hit just above the knee on the player that he was going up against.
I got to say, it seems like Palace is going to be safe. Like,
yeah. No,
Palace could stick around, especially with the parity that the league has had so far this season.
Yep.
Palace could find themselves in a top 10 finish.
Yeah,
they really could.
Absolutely. What I think about Palace now that's been different from previous seasons. I think they're a little bit more comfortable and organized. I think with Wilfred Zaha's head being turned again in the summer, I think Palace is starting to figure out we can't only play through him.
Yeah.
So other
Jordan Ayew's doing a great job up top. He's doing a very
goals.
good job up top.
Yeah, Benteke was for a few games playing very well in that point position, had a couple of assists.
Depth in the midfield too. I mean,
Yep.
I know like they looked at when they got McCarthy from us. It was like, why do we get him? You know why you got him? Because he's going to play 10 minutes a game for you, and he's going to give your guys some fucking
And
relief.
shore it up. Yeah,
and it just
absolutely
just some depth. You needed some depth. You have some depth. You're not completely at the mercy of having to play kids when people are hurt. You know, you added some smart veteran presence with guys. I know Cahill's hurt, but you add guys like Cahill that just help solidify the team. And
absolutely. And just some experience to put their arms around some of the younger guys and stuff like that. Yeah. But you also have, obviously, Milivojevic, Mr. Automatic from the penalty spot. You've got just everybody seems to be chipping in. Jeffrey Schlupp, I think it was his 4th or 5th goal this season. You have these people that are stepping up, that are helping the cause, and they're grinding out these results. They didn't deserve to win that game.
So we'll talk a little bit more about Bournemouth when we talk about their weekend game because it's kind of one collective thought. Moving on to Wolves and West Ham. Now, today's result minused out. What I had written down for the notes originally is, at times West Ham fans feel the sky is falling. In all actuality, this game, they played well. You went on the road to a likewise opponent, right? You gave up a goal in the first half. You gave up a goal late. That's kind of what happens in the Premier League to teams around you. As long as you do that to them in your building, you're fine.
Right.
You're going to swap points with some of these types of teams, and they're going to have the upper hand when they're at home. Both keepers, I thought, played real fucking well. Patricio had a couple of world-beater
really
saves.
Good saves, yeah.
And now today, again, and we'll get to that game with Arsenal later, but, just looking at that on its own, you never want to lose, but there's worse losses. Absolutely. If you would have walked in there and gotten your ass kicked 5-0 and there was no inspiration, you'd be a little fucking upset.
Absolutely.
But the team played fairly well. They seem to be back to kind of responding to Pellegrini. You're gonna lose to a good team in their building. It's what's gonna fucking happen.
I think a lot of the confidence issues were kind of resolved when David Martin came in.
Oh yeah,
they look like they have a little bit more enthusiasm. It doesn't always look like a last ditch tackle anymore.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, we can let a team have a shot and rest for a second. We can let a team attempt to do something, and we have some confidence behind us. We don't have to go balls to the wall. We can contain a little bit more.
And he was tree trunk on both goals. He got caught tree trunk, which that's going to happen to an inexperienced keeper, or at least a veteran keeper that doesn't get a ton of playing time. That shit's going to happen. Yep. But for the most part, when you need him to be there, he was there for you.
Right, and
the goals that they scored were good fucking goals.
You can't put Roberto back in. And I think
absolutely not.
You stick with David Martin until Fabianski's fit.
Yeah.
And when Fabianski's fit, you'll be fine again. The only other concern I would have for West Ham is where has Sebastian Haller been?
Yeah.
You ruined another striker. Congratulations, West Ham.
Yeah. I'd like to see a way that they could figure out with a two-striker system and let Antonio and Sebastian Haller play up top together.
Yeah.
That kind of big man that takes up a lot of possession and then let Haller kind of run around and be free off the ball.
Aller's not super fast though, but Antonio also isn't super fit. He gets gassed pretty quickly in games.
True, very
and a
true.
lot of that comes down to how physical he is. He gets beaten up.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of beating up. I mean, he's
Yeah.
but that takes a lot out of him. By 70 minutes or so, he looked gassed.
So keeping the train rolling here. Norwich go up 1-0, and Southampton storm back with 2 goals and get the 2-1 win. We're going to learn a lot about Southampton the rest of December. They play everybody that's around them.
Yep.
So they're either still going to be in the bottom 3, and they are.
Or they could pretty much solidify their safety.
They are what we think they are, or they're going to get themselves out of it. Danny Ings wants to do it all by himself. That man's playing his fucking arse off.
Absolutely. This for me is more about Norwich and their collapse yet again. They went up first and then fell apart yet again. I don't know why no one's talking about Daniel Farke's job, because they're going to sleepwalk themselves into relegation real fucking quick.
Because they beat City, they beat Everton, and they tied you.
This is a massive 6-pointer. Those are bonus points.
Yeah,
all
precisely.
of those, including you,
and they
are
lose,
bonus points.
And they lose every single 6-pointer.
Yep,
they lose every
single
6-pointer.
Exactly, and they're really going to need to find a way to shore up that defense and do something else. But I don't know why no one is talking about Daniel Farke's job.
Yeah,
they should be, because he's doing a piss poor job.
They won't, and I think they're going down. I legitimately do. I mean, nice run for him there, but I have no confidence in them staying. Newcastle, nice win at Bramall. That ain't easy to do.
Bramall Lane's a tough place to go.
They went in there and played ugly football against a team that likes to play ugly football, and a team that likes to have a boxing match, and they punched them right in the fucking face.
Well, in the win just before this one, you had Miguel Amarone get his first assist finally. Yep. And then in this game, Saint-Maximin got his first goal.
You mean the draw? The draw to City.
It was a draw. Yeah. Sorry, it was a draw to City.
I mean, but shit, their last 3 games, because the weekend game too was a win. So draw, win. That's huge
big
for
time.
Newcastle.
Absolutely. Steve Bruce actually doing a decent job, and John Joe Shelby scoring again.
Yeah, I mean, go figure.
Yeah,
go fucking figure. There's actually a little bit of depth. You can remove Shelby and put in Longstaff whenever you need to, and vice versa. I mean, I completely thought they were gonna. I had them totally 20th place going down. I'll go ahead and say that now in my predictions. They were my dead last team, and it wasn't that I don't like Newcastle. It's just that I had no faith in the system that was going to happen.
Right,
just no faith whatsoever.
I'm with you.
On to the weekend, Sammy. A couple of top 4 sides found themselves with losses this weekend, one of which was a derby. Manchester United 2, Manchester City 1, Everton 3, Chelsea 1. What a fucking week for Manchester United. Hello and welcome back to the Premier League.
Yeah, right? This performance was the best they've had under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, despite having only 30% of the ball. Actually, less than 30% of the ball. Yeah, less than 30%. But they outshot City 7-5. Marcus Rashford tucking one home again. Ederson should have done much better with that.
Yeah.
As he, I think, also should have done better with Martial's. Bernardo
Silva.
Yeah, giving away the penalty.
Yeah.
Ridiculously. I'm sorry. I was thinking about another goal. Rashford's was a pen and sent him the wrong way. Ederson shouldn't have done better with anything.
Right.
But he did get beat on his near post by Anthony Martial.
I wonder how much
ridiculous.
I wonder how much Ederson's worrying about his defense and not about the pipes around him.
Has to be something. He's seeing stuff late, or he's.
Stones pulled up lame in this game too.
Yep.
You know?
So he's out again, and he, without Laporte next to him, looks a shell of himself as well.
Yeah.
He's not ready to lead that back line alone either.
No.
So something's going wrong at City, and Pep some of his comments afterwards were kind of,
that was my question. Is City broken?
Yeah, something's wrong. Absolutely, but I think a lot of it comes down to that defense. But keeping that intensity and that level for 3 fucking years in a row is something really difficult to do.
Do you think this team now just turns its attention to Champions League?
Has to.
Yeah, I think it does.
Absolutely has
Because that's
to.
the one. It's like, okay, so you look at exactly what happened to Liverpool last year. You lose the league in heartbreaking fashion, but at least you won fucking Champions League, and you can run
Right.
around and go 6-6-6 to everybody.
Well, and
so
that's the one thing that City wants is that Champions League.
yeah, same thing as Chelsea with Roman a few years ago. It was the one thing. Like
One thing
there was
that
a
they- yep.
season where they were complete. I think they ended up finishing sixth, but they made the Champions League again because they went out and won the
They
fucking
won the
Champions
fucking
League.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
Then they just went, "This is it. This is what we care about. We care about Champions League, and that's all."
But United flying around, very committed performance. They outshot City because they got so many goddamn blocks in. The tackles were flying in from all over. This is and they counterattacked brilliantly. It looked like the Manchester United of old.
Again, Scott fucking McTominay. I
Yeah.
mean, he makes a huge difference in the middle of that field.
Fred played his ass off too. in
Yeah,
this
I mean,
game.
well, again,
he played very well this game.
Fred is now. You spent a lot of money on him, but you're Manchester United. That's what you're going to do. And I
Right.
know the jury is still out on Fred, but for the most part, if I looked at what Fred's done so far this year, he's filled a role. Now it's a very expensive role, but he's filled a role.
Absolutely.
And if he's partnered with the right person, he gets tackles in, he makes a pass, he helps secure the defense. You know, when you spend the money you spend on him, you expect him to be amazing, right? But he's done the job you've asked of him,
Yeah.
and
It's just it's a lot of money for a squad player. You're absolutely right.
But you know, Paul Pogba gets hurt, and it's like, what the fuck are we gonna do? And I mean, frankly, the two of them together, if Pogba comes back, I kind of like the two of them together better.
I don't even know why
But,
you put him
like-
in the team at this point.
Right. Like all Pogba is going to do is fuck with the fucking chemistry. All Everton needed was a hug. And that hug needed to come from the toughest son of a bitch to wear an Everton jersey. Big fucking Dunc.
I don't know if it was a hug.
Here we go.
That man was hugging and kissing everybody.
No, I know, but I think in the dressing room prior to the game.
Play a little Z cars.
Hells yeah, we're going to play a little Zet cards.
I respect my marriage.
What I think is it was probably like 50 Shades of Grey in that dressing room beforehand with Big Dunc just walking around choking and spanking people.
Yeah.
Until they decided to run out on the pitch like fucking madmen.
They played
You-
like they were scared of him,
Oh, yeah.
and I
You-
can't blame them.
You heard him in the presser. You saw his program remarks. And it was very simple. I'm a man being asked to do a job today. And today, we're going to go out there. We're going to face fucking Chelsea. And we're going to fucking kick them in the teeth. That is exactly what we're going to fucking do. We're going to do old school 4-4-2, 90s fucking football. We're going to let Chelsea have 70% of the fucking game. We're going to take 30%. But you know what we're going to do?
Outshot him again.
We're going to make 37 fucking tackles.
Yeah.
The most in the Premier League this year. The most by Everton in 10 fucking years.
Since they had a crazy Scotsman in charge.
Do I
Another
expect
crazy Scotsman.
Do I expect this 4-4-2? Do I expect it to work? No, it'll get figured out. But that day, what they needed was a crowd that was fucking screaming and chanting and singing, and they needed players that every single one of them was going to run their ass off. Myself, I was,
And they needed a psychopath like directing them.
and I was watching it with the DC Toffees with our buddy John, and the two of us were together at Fido at 7:30 in the morning in DC, and we could tell who needed subs. Now, it ended up being subs because of injuries, which doesn't help because we're already really thin. But those subs, we were like, yeah, Iwobi has run his fucking dick off. There's nothing left in the tank. He needs to get off the pitch because there's just nothing left. Like, there's nothing. You know, and just Richarlison with another Hulk smash header. Fucking 3 in a row for him on his goals have been that style of header.
Yep.
Fucking Calvert-Lewin found a way to score ugly goals as a striker. Fucking, dare I say, channeled his inner fucking Dunc. You know?
Yeah, I think the whole team did.
Dunk-
I need to write
Dunk-
that one down.
Yeah.
Dunc fucking hugging not one, but 2 fucking ball boys.
Well, after was it the second goal that Everton scored when he picked up the one
yeah.
The younger black kid.
Yeah.
That was right next to the.
Yeah, I don't think that kid
technical
was
Yeah,
ready
that kid
for
wasn't
that.
expecting it.
Oh no. No, I thought he was gonna kill him. He was shaking him around like a rag doll, like just being excited,
Yep.
and picked him up, and you could see the love and joy in both their faces. But then it like turned to agony as
little
Duncan
fear,
grabbed
yeah.
tighter. Yeah,
And
And then
Dunk-
the other kid saw his opening.
the other kid ran up to him and
like,
jumped
"Oh."
into his arms.
Hugs are an option.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I've never so wanted to be a ball boy in my entire life. I would have ran up and jumped in that man's arms too.
yeah.
Good Lord. You know what?
Do you remember when Kramer was gonna be a ball boy at the tennis at
Yes.
the U.S. Open? That just made me think of you actually as a 45-year-old man
And-
about to be 45.
And Dunk can't wear a tie properly. Fucking tie's hanging all off of him, but the button's still buttoned. All he had to do was unbutton the button, and
It
we
would
would
have
have been
been
like,
fine.
fine,
Yeah,
right?
it would have been normal.
But
Do you remember the year at the Preakness when Mike Reich tried to tackle Big Sam against the fence?
yes.
That's what I'm picturing.
yeah.
but then Dunk, you see him wearing the suit, and just under that suit, that blue armband, like when he used to play.
I thought you were gonna say a knife.
Yeah. You know, and you like to egg me on, and everybody likes to talk about the charm of fucking Jurgen Klopp and blah, 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 blah. Fuck you, Liverpool fans. That's real fucking charm. That's real fucking passion. That's real fucking love. And that wasn't making it about him. That's all he cared about was the fucking patch on the fucking chest. That is all Dunk cared about. And Dunk may be coaching the team on Sunday. He may not. And all he wants to do is help make the team fucking great. That's
Yeah.
it. It's all he cares about. Reminding those players what it is to be a fucking Evertonian. Period. End of discussion.
That's right.
It's impossible
I
to not
say-
feel happy about that game.
I say you should have had Dunk in charge for the derby.
I would have liked that too, but you know,
Dunk may have been able to come out and fucking knock one of his veneers out.
oh, that would have been
Had he-
so good.
That would have been really good.
I mean, it's so good because like Klopp would have come up to him at the start of the game and tried to shake his hand, and Dunk would have just like gave him like the stare.
Just yeah, exactly.
He would have headbutted him. What are we talking about?
That's
The
it.
stare. I've seen some of these videos.
As
I
he
read
was-
the report.
Lampard stayed in his coach's chair almost the entire time. He wasn't barely up in his box. Why? Because he was terrified. He was terrified that Dunk was going to headbutt him and piss all in front of the fucking box.
Didn't Dunk, as he was coming through, breaking in the first team, have a 3-month jail stint for assault?
Yes, he did. Yes,
Is that
he did.
the one where he was choking a guy?
No, that was just on
How
the
is
field.
that?
That was on the
okay.
field. No, I think he's had 4 or 5 like convictions
Let us not forget, too, he also turned away armed robbers in his
in
own
his own
home.
house, and he didn't call the police. He
Yeah.
called an ambulance.
Yeah.
Because he took one of their weapons. I think it was like a bat or a golf club or
And
something.
beat the shit
He
out of
took
him.
one of their weapons. One of them got away, and he kicked the shit out of the other guy so bad that guy had to, instead of calling the police to pick up the robbers, Duncan Ferguson picked up his home phone and called an ambulance for the guy because he kicked the shit out of him that
Well,
much.
shit. Let's get Liam Neeson to play him in a movie.
Sam,
Yeah.
Sammy, do you know why we call him Jamie effing Vardy? Because he's not Duncan fucking Ferguson.
Brilliant.
Finishing up the league in so that happened, weekend edition. Spurs 5, Burnley 0, Newcastle 2, Southampton 1, Brighton 2, Wolverhampton 2, Sheffield 2, Norwich 1, Palace 0, Watford 0, Arsenal 3, West Ham 1.
Fucking finally.
Yeah. Spurs are scoring for fun, man. And
Yeah.
again, that 9 goals in 2 games for fucking Burnley.
Yep.
That and both
That's
at
bad.
Turf Moor. That's a concern.
It's not good.
It's a big concern.
Absolutely. It's not good at all. Dele Alli scored again.
Yeah, that's-
And Musa Sissoko scored again.
That's Pope in the net. That's fucking Tarkovsky on the pitch. Like that's not like you could point and go, there was a major injury. Like no.
Son with a worldie.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Yeah, I know. Look at how about that? Son literally breaking ankles, and then this week figuratively breaking ankles as
Yeah.
he darts through at a bunch of people.
That was
He's
fantastic.
never going to let that go.
No. When
That's a hot topic in our football club forum.
Yeah, I bet. When I'm
He's a fucking cunt, and he can suck my fucking cock.
JB's coming for you now.
Tell me how you really feel. What I think is Burnley only had 1 yellow card again. and nobody, especially he went through 5 Burnley players.
Yeah.
And I looked, only 1 yellow card, and the one person was Matt Loughton, and he had that yellow card prior to Son's run. So that means there was at least 4 other people that could have fucking kicked him and brought him down and taken a yellow card as you're supposed to do.
Right.
A professional foul.
And
as
didn't.
you're supposed to do. And they should have fucking done it.
Yeah, and didn't
And they
fucking
didn't do it.
Yeah, didn't fucking do it.
And you could see it again, as you said, just the balloon pop, right? As soon as that second goal, third goal goes in, the Burnley players are just completely deflated. Sean Dyche has got to pick that dressing room up and figure it out, man, because it's something's going awry there as well.
For me, jury's still out. I want to see how they do against a weaker side. You know, as long as they keep beating the teams they're supposed to beat, okay, you're fine. You're where you are. Now, I will say the following is what you have to be concerned of if you're Burnley, is at some point, like someone like Tarkowski is going to get snapped up. At some point, a goalkeeper like Nick Pope is going to get snapped up. And at some point, Barnes and Woods are going to slow down. They're going to get older. They're going to get figured out. So for now, I think they're safe. They survive. They finish right in the middle of the pack as you would expect them to. But, you know, it's a little concerning. Now that a bunch of teams seem to keep wanting to lose, right?
How many O's were in that one?
A lot. People keep wanting to lose. What about the fact that Tottenham can find themselves right back into the Champions League discussion if they keep playing their fucking cards right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to get real congested up there in 3rd through 6th, I'd imagine, in the next few weeks. As people start to pick wins up, and you might get an odd draw here or there when you have all this congested fixture list. I think it's going to tighten up even more than it already is. And with Chelsea dropping points all of a sudden, they're going to find themselves drawn back into that 5th, 6th place discussion as well.
Exactly. Now, Brighton Wolverhampton. Brighton takes a 2-0 lead. Wolves have to fucking chip away to get it back. I mean, yeah, you went to their place, and the Amex isn't always an easy place to play in, but Wolves, this is the game you got to win if you want to break Champions League.
Yeah.
If you want to be 4th or 5th place, that's the game you got to win.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely the game you got to win.
If you want to find yourselves back into that sort of realm,
yeah,
this is the type of thing that you have to do.
That's the W.
It was obviously a very busy first half, as all 4 goals were scored in the first half, but then after that, not a lot happened. Patricio, it seems to be a running theme for the week, gave up 2 near post goals.
Yeah, but he did really well in the first week, the first game. Just not well there.
It was odd from them.
Sheffield rebound. Norwich is slipping. I mean, there's really not much more to say about that.
Nope.
Norwich gets their win. Sheffield falls off. I mean, Sheffield wins. Norwich fall off. Palace and Watford. They played a professional English Premier League match this weekend, didn't they?
I didn't even know what happened, to be honest.
The little bit that I watched, it was very ugly. A lot of fouls. A lot of cards. Very, very ugly game.
All I know is they fucked me on my bet again.
Heard. Fucked you on your bet. Sammy, your boys actually played well for 10 minutes. How about that?
Yeah, we did. Let me ask you a question. Did we talk about Newcastle, Southampton?
No, we will, though.
All
We'll
right.
go ahead and talk about that.
That's a win streak.
Don't worry. I've missed a complete segment that we're going to go back and record in a moment, too.
Oh, really?
I was getting excited because I saw him skip it over, and I wasn't going to say shit
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I completely skipped the Leicester and the Liverpool games, so I completely skipped a segment. But we're going to get back to that in just a moment.
Got it.
And
So-
in my shot, I was just going to let it go by and not say a fucking word.
Yeah, not a problem. We actually did play very well for 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
We looked like Arsenal of old. Couple of great intelligent runs, couple of great passes, cut inside from the right, left foot shot. It was a beautiful goal from Nicolas Pepe.
That was
dirty.
that was one of those we always talk about it. If you could take the ball, carry it, and like put it in the top corner, that's exactly what he did with it.
It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. Aubameyang on the score sheet, and then, of course, started it off was Gabriel Martinelli.
The Martinelli one, that one you can hang on the defense. How do you let a guy be that open?
Well,
in
yeah,
the
I mean,
middle
it
of the
was a
box?
great run. He found himself in space between 2 defenders.
Yeah.
But there's the thing, is what were the defenders doing? that allowed him to be in that position. But he
Yeah.
found that space, he found that gap, and he exploited it.
Especially at that point because you're up 1-0 West Ham. Like that's
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, unfortunately, because of this for West Ham, they've we talked about earlier in the week that the loss to Wolves not the end of the world, right? But
Yeah.
now that loss hurts because, frankly, West Ham's about to be where Everton was.
Yep, absolutely. But, from my boys, it was a very tepid and abject first half, and the start of the second half looked almost worse. And I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know what happened, but it clicked all of a sudden. And for 15 minutes, I had my Arsenal back. Hopefully, we could take those positives, gain some confidence, and win every game 5-4. Because our defense still sucks. We still have issues.
Yeah.
We still have fucking problems. Massive problems and glaring holes.
How much longer is it, Freddie?
Until we find somebody. Apparently, Max Allegri's turned us down.
Wow.
Yeah.
The guy you wanted.
I know. And as I said...
Your 1 seed.
And as I said, Aubameyang has stopped contract negotiations.
Oh, whoever takes over your team, it's going to be a fucking project. Sorry for cutting you off there twice now.
You're good. So I, to be honest with you, wouldn't be surprised if we lost Aubameyang in January to make sure we have maximum value for him. And then Lacazette maybe to follow in the summer. But we're going to have to do something because it doesn't appear as though we'll be in the Champions League. I think there's better teams in the Europa League than us. So I don't think we're going to get in that way. I don't think we're going to be able to catch the fourth place team.
You might
that
not
happens
qualify for fucking Europa.
In general, correct. So I'm preparing for a world where we're going to need a bank, and that bank is going to come from the sale of probably Torreira, Lacazette, and Aubameyang.
Right.
And that's how we're going to have to live like that. But we have some promising young players coming through. Eddie Nketiah on loan at Leeds is playing very well. You've got the 18-year-old center back for Saint-Etienne that we bought that we loaned immediately back that he'll be coming in, hopefully shore up the defense a little bit, but he's young. He's going to make mistakes. New country, new language,
like
everything.
to see Rob Holding come back and be healthy.
Need it. Need it badly.
I wouldn't mind seeing a world where it would be Holding and Chambers as your two central defenders.
I think we're getting closer and closer to that.
Yeah.
It
also doesn't help that Bellerin gets hurt before the match and then Tierney gets hurt as well. Like,
absolutely.
What you see next year would be Bellerin. Bellerin could get sold also.
He could also. Barcelona's interested as well.
And then Holding and Chambers in the middle. Newcastle, a draw and 2 wins.
It's a win streak.
They're on a roll.
7 points from a possible 9.
Apparently,
wow.
We talk a little shit. Suddenly, they start fucking rattling off 2-game winning streaks like it's going out of style.
Yeah. Well, now I'm looking at these Newcastle. I'm looking at these Newcastle glasses that we have to do our Malort shots in, and I think that much like I do with my betting, I think that we've helped them by betting for them.
Why is he already pouring me a shot?
Because I think we're going to go back to that segment we skipped.
Because we're not going to miss it. That's why. So, good on you, Newcastle. I would say, though, as Taylor has put it, Malort is still absolutely Mike Ashley in a bottle. Out of order, but we're still giving it to you. The top 2 win convincingly. Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 0, Leicester 4, producer Mel's Villa 1. 8 goals this week from Liverpool, and they're coming from everybody. They're not coming from one person.
No.
Everywhere.
This was a training game for Liverpool. Bournemouth didn't even muster a shot on target. There's not a lot to say. I mean, Liverpool completely dominated this fucking match.
Have harped nonstop on Liverpool getting the gritty win, but saying you need some style points. You need to get a good win.
Yeah.
You need to start looking good. And this week, they fucking did it. And again, to do it to your crosstown rival, even though we're a wounded dog, that's still big.
Oh yeah,
that's big. That puts a big charge in you.
Absolutely.
And then you go to a place like the Vitality, which is not an easy place to play, which is a place where you gave up a big lead and drew a few years ago under Klopp, so you know that building, and you whoop that fucking ass.
Yeah, convincingly.
You whooped it. I mean,
absolutely.
Bournemouth, I'm getting a little nervous for it because they're doing their normal collapse, but here's the difference. They aren't scoring goals.
Nope.
Normally, they score goals. They always and then Nathan Ake goes down in the Liverpool game too.
Yep. Does not help.
Not at all.
Probably their best defender. But, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Something feels a lot worse and a lot different about this Bournemouth team.
This was a team you and I talked about in the summer, and I said this could be the fall.
Yeah.
This could legitimately be their fall.
Absolutely. Another thing I'd worry about, too, I know we've talked about before last season, especially about City potentially going unbeaten. I'm worried. This feels different than City. This Liverpool team feels different than City.
Actually have it written here.
I read your notes for a change.
Can this team go invincible?
I know. I read your notes for a change because
I'm impressed.
I was then
Good
worried
job.
about the previous segment there where we just completely
I saw
left
the
it out.
panic. I was
I
not
wanted to
gonna
make sure we
correct it,
addressed
though.
this.
Hey,
I was
as
fine
someone
with it.
as someone who drives the bus, you know what I did? I turned off at the wrong
I
exit.
was just hoping he would
but
forget it.
but I did the loop around, came back over, and got right back on the
Yeah,
right path.
Awesome.
Sammy, you're my drunk Uber passenger. Daddy's got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
This feels different from Liverpool than it did from City. I'm worried that we might not be the only Invincibles anymore.
Aww.
I
and
see.
that's how he made it all about him.
They're 32. Is
I
that
s-
32 or 33 now? Games unbeaten.
I see a loss in their future. At the King Power on Boxing Day. They will have just played the Club World Cup. They will have just played the League Cup. They will have had the, started off and just did the early December thing. The thing with December is that first week of December, you play 7 games in 10 days. Then if you're still in the League Cup, the next week you have 5 days off, but then you play another 3 games in fucking 10 days. It's like, it's this 3 and 10, 3 and 10, and then you turn around and you play Boxing Day, and it's 2 and fucking 4.
Yeah.
And it's just,
Well, the other
and then
thing- I mean-
and then it's right after that. It's FA Cup, and you play a midweek game because it's absolute insanity.
No, absolutely. But then you have, saying that, Liverpool's been doing that all year anyway because of the Champions League. They've been playing 3 games a week all year long.
Yeah,
Their team is deep enough that they could do it, as we saw against you, with all of their, essentially their rotation squad. Half of their squad was in rotation at that point, and they still put you to the sword.
let's talk a little bit about Leicester while we're doing this too, and the Leicester match, because let's face it, that was masterclass from them. Sorry, Mel. You got your ass whooped by a really good team.
No. I'm recognizing they were. I mean, yes, Leicester is phenomenal. Full disclosure, I don't know if you know this. Going into picking my team, the latter half of the spring, I was Leicester. I was going to come in and declare myself,
A Leicester supporter.
yeah, hashtag, I heart Vardy, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But then I saw Villa, and it was like, love at first sight. And
That's how it
I
goes.
regret nothing. I got shots from Malort coming to me. I'm a big girl. I can take it. But here's what I'm going to say. Thank you, Houston. You never forget that shit. Here's what I want to say. We've looked good against great teams.
Mm-hmm.
We looked, as soon as Mings went down, nobody knew what the fuck was going on.
Yep.
It was discombobulated. What do you call it? 6s and 7s?
Yeah,
I don't know.
6s and 7s.
We
Good
didn't know our
job.
asses from our heads. That God Jack made a good goal at some point, but Wesley missed every opportunity given to him and cost us 2 goals. Ming shouldn't have stayed on the pitch as long as he did.
Yep.
That cost us a goal. Wesley, I wouldn't be sad if he just kind of wasn't around anymore. I think he's not good in our defense.
You mean?
Well, you missed your
attack.
chance. You missed your chance.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed your chance because you just played the assassin Jamie Vardy. Probably could have used an extra couple $1,000 if you put a
Yeah.
price on Wesley's head.
I'm sorry. I should have had Kitty send something up for me. But
Yeah, because,
it was bad. It was bad, and we looked good against great teams. So even though Leicester is a phenomenal team, we still were bad against them.
Play well against Chelsea at the Bridge. frankly, should have beat Liverpool in their building. They had Liverpool on the ropes. They really did. And then it slipped away from them right at the end. But
We were missing Jack that game.
yeah, I mean, that's, so they've played well against good teams. They have definitely played well against good teams, but Buzzsaw.
Well, we were theorizing on injury report, like what would happen if Mings went out. Well, we found out we can't handle it if Mings isn't
right
there
apart.
to pull
Yep.
everybody in place.
What I was gonna say is just that with the blistering form that Jamie Vardy and Leicester are in at the moment, for me this is probably a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before a ball was even kicked.
I knew we were going to lose. That wasn't the question. But we didn't need to look so shitty while we were doing it.
Fair enough.
Is it you look so shitty, or is it that Leicester's just that fucking good?
Oh, no, Leicester's that good, but we were.
They were at 6s and 7s. After
Yeah,
Tyrone
we
Mings
were-
went out, that was the end of it.
Why Tyrone Mings was on the field hurt.
Yeah.
They were at 6s and 7s.
It was a mess, but fortunately, that's not how we've been playing this season. So while it was crappy, it could be worse. It could be Everton.
So, thanks. Appreciate it. I'm not doing two shots of Malort this weekend.
Yeah, but you're also, you act like a top 8 team, but you're nowhere near.
And haven't been for a while.
Yeah. Just
We,
saying.
2 seasons ago, we were 7th. Fuck off. Last season, we finished in 8th. Fuck off.
I'm just saying, like,
So,
it's kind of sad.
Shut up to your shot in Malort while the big boys talk.
Up the villa, fuck you, Vardy.
So, Sam, looking at the Boxing Day game, here's why I think if there's going to be a loss, Rodgers wants that game.
Yeah.
It's in their building.
It's a Brendan Rodgers derby.
And let's face it, Leicester at Anfield was the better side, and that was a real soft penalty that got called against them.
Oh.
Real fuck. I mean, again, just one may think that VAR was invented to make sure that Liverpool won the league, because I mean, it seems pretty natural that at the start of every game, I mean, if I'm sure at the start of your game today with West Ham, VAR reviewed the call and decided that Liverpool was awarded a penalty. It's pretty much how it works. But what I see now, Sammy, is one thing. I see my chicken, Kitty, standing in front of an R2 unit doing a recording saying, "Save us, Jamie F. and Vardy. You're our only hope." It's time to tell you what little we know. It's prediction time. Pat can't even pick winners for Graham. He's trying to hand him free fucking money.
Graham's just got bad juju.
Graham, who also lost twice and now is down $1,585. I took a big step back, a little bit of probably shouldn't have taken Wolves on the road. That was my own fault. And I tell you, I really did think that the Spurs were going to get United. I just didn't realize United was going to wake up in the morning and go, "We're United again."
Right?
And finally,
Apparently, you made it funny.
Yeah, and finally, Kitty split on hers, so she went 1-1. She got one derby right and one derby wrong. Graham, you've reached a point now where listeners can't even pick winners for you. Are you finally going to pick something easy, or
Nope.
are you going to do? No, of course not.
Well, technically, it's easy, but we all know what happens.
So what do we got?
All right. So, by the way, I just fed the Sports Direct Cup of Losers, and mine this week said, "Brad let me down again. Thanks, bro."
Mine
Wah, wah, wah.
Mine says 2 losers was on a roll and no more.
All right. So, this week, I'm doing a 5-part parlay.
You're a fucking lunatic.
Listen to it. This should be the easiest 5-part parlay ever. Ready?
I wish honestly, we're a little behind the scenes. We're going to soon have Pat call in for his pick of the week. And I wish Pat was on the phone right now to just start laughing at you aloud.
Listen to it.
I'm going to listen to
You
it.
ready? Liverpool to win, Tottenham to win, Chelsea to win, Leicester to win, and Vardy to score.
Do it again.
Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, and Leicester to all win.
Okay.
I
Who
mean,
do they all play?
those
And
all
Vardy-
seem obvious.
And Vardy to score. So all
Vardy should score.
right, all very obvious
yeah.
go-tos.
And
But
so
and
now-
everyone was a favorite except Tottenham had a plus 120.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what
But
this
they
tells
gave
you?
me on
There's gonna be
those
some huge upsets next
Leicester
weekend.
plays
Yeah.
Norwich. That should be a win.
Upset.
exactly. Fuck off.
Chelsea. I can't see who Chelsea play. Chelsea play Bournemouth. Yeah, that should be a win.
Upset.
Liverpool. I'm trying to look through.
Liverpool's got Watford,
Okay, that's definitely a
Upset.
win.
right?
And then Vardy to score, right?
And Vardy to score, yeah. And Chelsea to win.
Vardy breaks his ankle in the first.
And
minute.
Chelsea's got Bournemouth, Liverpool have Watford, Leicester have Norwich, and Tottenham have Wolves.
Ooh. I think that's your loser.
I don't think so. I think they're scoring goals for fun under Jose, and the happiest man in the Premier League is going to bag a hat trick. But I didn't put that in.
At Spurs or
It's at Wolves.
At Wolves.
I think they'll be fine.
I think you see a draw.
Nope.
I think you see a draw, and I
Nope.
think that is your fatal flaw.
So
How much does that win you?
430.
I think you just,
All
430.
of that for
I
a
think you
measly
just
430.
cursed the top teams.
Yeah. All of that for a measly 430.
Well, our boys in the hole, because he was trying to look out for you.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
I don't need your fucking charity either.
All right, so Pat is going. Pat is going back to kind of picking the primetime game, which is West Ham and Southampton. Even though I like how he titled his
Ugh.
email West Ham North Ham.
That's great.
And
What a terrible primetime game, though.
yeah. So last week didn't work out very well. Now that I'm in the hole, it's time to dig out. So Saturday, we've got Southampton hosting West Ham. I'm hoping for a draw this week for plus 270 to get me back in the black. And I will see you guys on Sunday, where I'll make a live bet on the Arsenal-Manchester City game.
Oh, good.
We are going to have to
Easy
hand that-
money, City to win.
we're going to have to hand that gentleman a microphone and let him talk to the people, even though I don't know of his degenerate lifestyle if he wants to go out there and let everybody know his business. But everybody can meet degenerate gambling friend
Pat
Pat.
be giving people advice, on the QT.
All right. It may be. So myself, I got a bit too chesty. And this weekend reminded me that I'm still in the hole and I need to deal with just getting out of the hole first and foremost.
Insert all sexual jokes that I could
So,
possibly make right now.
I'm now back to being down 481. So for this,
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
which now 20% of the time works 100%
We're
of
back
the time.
down to 20%. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I'm willing to admit it. Hey, I've done better than one $15 win, fucker.
Listen, I won real cash when I went to England in September, okay? Thanks.
Yeah, okay. You and I are going to go to England, and we're going to make a gentleman's bet about how I'm going to make more money than you are when
We'll
we're
see
fucking
what
at the
happens.
betting parlors.
Carly and I'm going to send you guys with prepaid Visa debit cards,
Yeah.
and we're locking off your
Oh, because we're
accounts.
so going to be like, I'm going to be like, Jamie Vardy scores in the 86th minute, motherfucker, for like
200 quid, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm totally going to be doing that shit. You got to watch out.
I was fat because we're going to be drinking from breakfast every day. So
And like I said, my system still better than Graham's system. So I'm actually going to take two bets this week, two single $100 bets. The first one, I am taking Mo Salah to score at any time against Watford,
if you please.
and that is at minus 127.
So you risk 127 to win 100.
Yep, but I know I'm going to win 100. He's going to play. He's going to score.
All right.
And then I am also taking Raheem Sterling to score at any time against your team.
You know VAR loves chalking off goals for him.
So I'm going to be in the brewery yelling and screaming actively for Sterling to score just to fuck with you.
That right there is worth the price of admission, folks.
Which is free.
That's a pretty good segment.
That's a great segment.
But we want to give you more. We give you a chicken.
Right now, you all should be dancing in your cars like Sam Houston over here to my right.
wrist hand. You fucking twat.
Oh my God, he's got 2 of them now. I have a feeling that's going to be a thing. So, Graham,
Yeah.
Kitty was in good spirits when I went up for our regular visit. However, I noticed empty bottles of Cheetos and a bunch of crushed up Red Bull cans around the coop.
Did someone come visit?
I mean, we were out of town for the Repeal Day ball, so we weren't here. But I asked Kitty, and she just cut me off, informed me that her boo was in town, and she had chosen that she's going to have Leicester beating Norwich City, and that's all there was to it, and then flew right back into the coop.
Her boo. Her boo.
Aren't chickens flightless birds?
They
oh, no.
fly a little.
Oh, no. Kitty flies around. She flies around a lot.
Sammy, she's burying the lead. Her boo.
They're out in the open now.
Is Kitty the side piece to Jamie effing Vardy?
Sounds like it.
Fucking,
Sounds like maybe she's too chesty for him, and he likes it.
she's a big girl and she got a big chest. Let's say that.
On that note, folks, I just want to remind you to always gamble illegally and responsibly.
Legally.
You're such an ass, Graham.
Yeah,
It
I do
sounded
think
like you said- it sounded like
I
you
do
said
think our
illegally.
producers did tell everybody to gamble illegally.
Did
Yeah.
I say illegally?
It sounded like it.
Yeah.
Because I
Sure
think
it
you.
was legally.
Well,
Okay.
I think you went
know what?
Sam,
right
Sam-
before it.
Sam, it's the Malort talking.
It's
Don't worry about it.
definitely the fucking Malort. And the fact that Jamie fucking Vardy and my chicken are hanging out while I'm out of town. Like, I have mixed feelings on this shit.
You know what? The coop wasn't busted up, so I'm
That's all
okay
that
with that.
matters. Yeah.
There wasn't any like head dents into my house where like Vardy would just walk up and headbutt. So
I don't know, but Gertrude was in the corner rocking back and forth.
bit butt for Gertie, huh?
That's funny.
So I was working on Tuesday.
Yeah.
How do we do?
We won. Played a pretty good game actually. Went down early, and then kind of barnstormed back. It was
It's a
great.
team we lost to last season, so that's nice.
Yeah, so we went down. We came back even, traded goals back and forth, and then pulled away at the end.
Nice, very
It was
good.
good. Had a couple of red cards.
Yeah, one on
actually.
them, one on us.
Yeah, it was strange. I don't speak fluent Spanish, so I don't know what the one guy said, but his was a straight red for dissent. And then one of our guys, Max, got a red off the ensuing kickoff for a tackle that I don't think was a red either.
Right,
So it was strange. Both of them probably could have been handled with yellow cards,
right.
but I think he was trying. Shit already sent him off, so I need to do something, and send off Max as well. So, but it was a good win. We played very well. We played together. We stayed on. Some of the football was decent. It was a good game.
Setting in fourth, playing a team that's just behind us in the table. So want to hold on to a playoff. We got to get the win this Tuesday.
That's right.
So that about wraps it up. I know we went a little long, but let's face it, kids, we got fucking 20 games in an hour, 15 minutes.
Are you
So
kidding? I had the under of 120, so I'm winning money on this bet.
There we go.
heard. There you go,
Pat
girl.
took some side action.
Got it. So Sammy, any parting words?
Yeah. There's been an arrest
Fuck,
made.
there goes my bet.
I was gonna say you don't normally know. That's
There's been an
Sam's
arrest.
Parting words.
There's been an arrest made, and rightfully so, for the fucking cocksucker that was on television being racist at the Manchester Derby.
Yeah, because apparently jumping up and down like an ape is perfectly okay in his eyes.
Right.
Was that Mr. Hands in his pocket?
I think so.
Yeah,
We had
that's
the
what he
vest
said.
on with
he
the
said
red
his
jumper.
excuse was, "Oh, I just had my hands in my pocket and I was jumping around."
No. And he's been arrested. He could be seen yelling things as well. And what surprising to me is there's a steward right in front of him, and it didn't look like he said anything to him or tried to stop him in any way, which is concerning. But, yeah, so he's been arrested, rightly so, good. Hopefully he can find himself while he's locked away in jail.
Well, and he can now spend the money on TV packages because you're not going to be at any games anymore.
Ever. He'll
That's
get
it.
He'll get
It's
a
over
lifetime
for you.
ban. Yep.
It's-
So, hope it was worth it, you cunt.
Well, as you always like to say, Sam, every single time you see one of these incidents, you're going to fucking point it out. You're going to fucking say something about it. And, it's
Don't
not...
punch a Nazi when you guys go to a game.
I'm trying not to, but can't promise anything.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard. Yeah, if somebody does something really fucking stupid,
Yep.
I'll grab a hold of him. But if somebody makes a reference to anyone that is black, considering your wife is black, I'm just gonna try to hold you back.
Yeah.
Yike.
It's gonna.
That's not going to work. I'll have bail money.
Very good. Be ready to Western Union us another prepaid legal card so we can get Sam out of jail.
Right. That's all I need to do is be fucking locked up. Oh my God. Locked up abroad. That'd be terrible.
All right, everybody. So next up is injury time. Injury time's pretty simple. We just preview the weekend's games, and that is exclusively for our Patreon subscribers. Sammy, tell the people how they can check out our Patreon.
Sure. It is www.patreon, Patreon, patreon.com /DU Football Show.
And also, we get a little loose too normally because the liquor is settled in, and we're a little stupid for that half hour.
Absolutely.
So just
it's
an extra,
a lot more freeform than this is.
Yeah, so just an extra half hour of show, and it's a lot of fun to do. Hope you like it. More importantly, I hope to see a bunch of you on Sunday for the live show at Monument Brewing.
It's going to be a ton of fun.
And we're gonna have a great time, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody, meeting a bunch of new faces, and spreading the word about the People Show. So
absolutely.
Till next week, everybody.
Good night, and don't be a cunt.
I agree with Melissa looking at the Chelsea Villa match. Agree with Melissa.